Welcome to the Asheville View. I'm your host, Aisha Adams, and today I'm coming to you from the Center for Craft in Asheville, North Carolina. Can you tell me more about yourself and how you came into your fiber and social practice projects?
My name is Aram Han Sifuentes. I use she and they pronouns. I'm an artist, an art educator in Chicago. And yeah, I'm a fiber and social practice artist. I do a lot of textile work because when we immigrated, me and my family immigrated to the United States from South Korea. My parents started working in the garment industry when I was 5 years old. And so I've always known how to sew and grew up around textiles.
I know your work is centered around backstrap weaving. What exactly is backstrap weaving and how did you come to learn about it and get interested in it?
Yeah, so this project here that's on display at the Center for Craft now is really the project where I went to learn backstrap weaving. Okay. So I'm really interested in backstrap weaving because most cultures around the world, that was one of their first ways of learning how to weave. There's a tradition in Mexico, of course, what I'm exploring here. There's traditions of backstrap weaving in South Korea as well. I really just love that you can create these really complex textiles with some sticks and a belt. And so it's really quite amazing.
You gotta show me that.
We have one on display there. Yeah.
Tell me more about the function of the garments and textiles within the social and cultural context of the Chiapas.
For this project, I worked with 11, 12 different artisanas, so Indigenous women, backstrap weavers, and embroiderers in the area in different communities throughout the region. And it was just really an incredible opportunity to research and work alongside them because it comes from Mayan traditions. So it's like really old, right? And a lot of them incorporate different stories within them. So there's a lot of storytelling that happens.
Like in the actual garments?
Yeah, in the actual textiles. And I could show you some of those. It's a lot about fashion as well. So like, for example, in Zina Cantan, we're standing in front of, they change their fashion twice a year. Mm-hmm. So it happens really quickly. And oftentimes we don't think about fashion and how rapidly it can change when we're thinking about traditional crafts, right? Or traditional garments. And so in Chiapas, and I think this is happening throughout the world, right? It's like it gets harder and harder for these traditional craftspeople to continue to make their work, right? Because like of capitalism, because of globalization, because of how fast things are made, mm-hmm. right? And how cheap things are made, right? And so like they can't spend like every day for 30 days, like hours on end making something that in the end is gonna cost them like $20 to sell, right?
Right.
Because people don't understand how it's made and what type of like what goes into it,
the process.
Right? All the materials, the process, and also the stories, also the, you know, what they're putting in, right? Their emotions, their stories, their decisions, right? In terms of conceptually, like, and visually, mm-hmm. right? And so I feel like all of them that I was talking to were talking about how difficult it is to continue the practice, you know, and how things are constantly being lost because people have to make things much quicker and sell things for much cheaper. And so I think that is really at the core of this project, is talking about how difficult it is to still do this work today.
What would you like for us to learn from you when we come to visit this exhibit? What do you want us to take away?
You know, the title of the exhibitions is Preservers, Innovators, and Rescuers of Culture in Chiapas, because it sounds heroic, right? In a lot of ways. They sound like superheroes, and a lot of the women that I was working with, they are superheroes, right? They're preserving culture in their communities. They're making changes. They're also like rescuing traditional techniques that have been lost in their communities and like being the teachers of that to their own communities. And so a lot of the questions that I have is around like, why do we call them artisans and not artists? And why don't we see their work more in museums? Because the work that they do is just absolutely amazing.